It is party time, Mom. Welcome to another episode, Tuesday episode of the Chad Prather Show. We are in the Mothership Studio 22, and the puppet master, the perfectionist himself, Mark, is at the helm, driving us into the nether regions of all things insanity, and of course, Super Mario, Chris Cruz. Why aren't you wearing red? Dadgummit. I swear we got to get you one of those costumes. Got to get you one of those costumes. You boys are so creepy. Sitting over there all quiet and stuff. Oh, my gosh. Go to beto22.com. That's a candidate you can get behind. Hell yeah, we're going to run for governor. Interesting things are shaping up in the world today. Beto announced yesterday that he was going to run for governor as Democrat in Texas. And it's interesting that so many of these news outlets still come out with their polls saying, who are you going to vote for? Beto O'Rourke, Greg Abbott, or Matthew McConaughey? Well, McConaughey not even running. And Abbott hadn't gotten through the primaries. Neither has O'Rourke.
And didn't we talk about last week about him saying that he's gonna blah blah his kids? Is that something the Democratic Party even believes?
Yeah, McConaughey, who would most likely run as an independent, I think he would have to. We'll see. He would most likely have to run as an independent. He said he wasn't going to blah blah his kids, and then he got all the backlash, and so he started mumbling and backtracking on that, on whether or not he would blah blah the kids. Do we need a blah blah shirt? I've wondered, do we need a blah blah shirt? I don't know if enough people know what the blah blah is when we refer to it. Yeah, I kind of think so. But I almost want to do a blah blah with like the Ghostbusters no around it, with a cross through it. That might be no blah blah. That might be good. And even put our logo on there for the show. I think that'd be a pretty good idea. Maybe we'll talk to Alexander about doing that. You can get a discount right now on our Blaze collection. ChadOnBlaze.com takes you right there to it. If you use Chad20 as a promo code, you can get 20% off. We're trying to raise a little money. Trying to raise a little money for Christmas time by helping you save some money. But it definitely helps me because it helps me get paid. And I think it helps Chris and Mark a little bit too. I don't know. When our show does good, I'm just going to be honest with you. When our show does good, the executives, they like it. They want to incentivize us a little bit. They want to pay us a little more money. And I like that. I like when they want to do that because we have a successful show. I don't know. Maybe I'll just lose the cowboy hat and put on a suit because we're going to have to rebuild the set. We're just pissing everybody off these days. Like Party Foul Steve and Hot News Natalie. They haven't been in here. Lisa's been in here some. People are like, where are they at? What are you doing? You keep them in the basement? You got them behind brick and mortar somewhere, closed up? You can't let them out. They're in cages with the kids? Yeah, absolutely. That's where we've got them. I talked to Hot News Natalie on Sunday. And I told her, I said, I need you to come on the show sometime soon, just proof of life kind of thing. And she said she would, so that's good. And, anyway, but they're going to move our studio. We're going to pick all this up and move it, I think, at the end of the year. And so that'll be the third place we've been in, Mark. That'll be the third location on this campus. Hopefully the air conditioner works over there. But, man, chatonblaze.com. And do a subscription to Blaze TV. And also, what I'm trying to do, guys, here's one of the things. I'm just going to give you a rundown real quick. Things I'm trying to do to communicate with you, okay? So we have this show. We have the new chadprather.com. I've been putting articles on there. Some of the monologues, rants, and raves we've been putting on there as well. Chadprather.com. I just want you to get in the habit of checking it every day. Click on the articles. Scroll through them because they have ads on there. And you know what that does? You guessed it. It gets me paid. And that's what I like. And, of course, watchchad.com is where all the fun stuff is. We got conservative oil for your CBD stuff. We got Alpha Elite Performance. All kind of – I send you to websites everywhere. If you want to sleep, alphaeliteperformance.com. All kind of stuff. We're capitalists around here. But I want you to – and then the other thing we're talking about doing, Chris, we're talking about me and Matt Couch – are talking about doing an actual newsletter, snail mail, paper newsletter called The Cowboy and the Couch. And we're going to send it out. And maybe send a gift with it every month. Like do a monthly subscription, like $4, I don't know. But actually send out a newsletter so you could, like old school, like, like the Little House on the Prairie kind of stuff. And we'll make sure people like Jennings, I see you over there in the shadows, we'll make sure Jennings writes and I'll write and Matt will write and just crazy stuff. I've discovered this thing, and we got to go to break. I know we do, but I'm just rambling here. I've discovered Twitter. Oh God, what do you call them? The communities, the things where you get on there and you have those big voice chats with everybody. Oh my gosh, I just forgot the name of them. But on Twitter, like it's the one redeeming thing on Twitter. You can go on there. I'll get on there at night with like 1,000 people. It's almost like having a voice chat room, and we just talk about whatever topic. And you can have moderators and stuff like that. I'll think of the name of it in the break. But before we do that, let's talk about My Patriot Supply. I moved the other day, so I had to move all of my Patriot Supply stuff. Stocked it at the warehouse, got some at the house, all this stuff. I like to eat that stuff. Like it's really good. It's really good. And you got the holidays that are right around the corner. And I hope you have a plan if things get bad. Like you have some emergency food, and tomorrow's not promised to anybody. Food's not at the grocery stores all the time. Shortages are happening, and they're probably going to get worse, so prepare yourself. So go to preparewithchad.com. They're My Patriot Supply. They're America's largest preparedness company. They've served millions of American families. They've got over 45,000 4- and 5-star reviews that you can rely on them during the coming tough times. Preparewithchad.com. You're going to be amazed at what you find. They got high-quality products, affordably priced. So if you'll act now, the order will arrive quickly. The products are now in stock. They sell fast because of what's happening, so don't miss out. Go to preparewithchad.com. If you do, you'll thank yourself. If you don't, you'll kick yourself. Preparewithchad.com. I'm serious. Go do it before things get bad. Preparewithchad.com. We'll be right back. So, they've been talking about Kenosha, Wisconsin. They've been talking about whether or not there's going to be riots and burning down buildings and things like that with this Kyle Rittenhouse trial. Of course, going to go to jury after closing arguments Monday. We're taping this early, to be honest with you, so we don't know the results of the thing. I hate admitting that, but it's true in this case. So this may be old news by the time. I don't foresee them being like riots and stuff. And I don't because it's not an election year. Now, for an election year, that stuff would be coordinated. That's just the way I'd take and I could be wrong. We'll see. Who knows? By the time you're watching this, you might be going, you were wrong. But I don't know yet. But they've been boarding up windows, and we'll talk some more about that. But kind of interesting what's going on there. Of course, the gun charge, the possession of the gun charge was dropped. That was the one misdemeanor that they thought they're trying to get him on anything, right? Because this thing is not about Rittenhouse. This is not about Kyle Rittenhouse. This is about you and me. This is about guns. This is about us. This is about, how dare anybody step in and try to, do anything. I mean, forget the fact that, he got pushed to the ground, had a gun put in his face, was told they were going to get him. They were kicking him down. These people were, felons. They were sodomites. They had, pedophiles that had been in prison.
And Chad, leave it to the Democrats to praise a pedophile.
Man, again, at this stage in the game, people will do anything. They'll praise pedophiles. And that's one of the things. They want to come back, oh, well, you guys, y'all support January 6th. Literally no conservative out there, none, supports the events of January 6th. Nobody with a legitimate platform, that is, and a legitimate voice supports the events of January 6th. It's so dumb. Had a dude come at me the other day, well, you support Donald Trump. He wanted to have sex with his daughter. It's like, what? You guys drank the Kool-Aid on a level of like nothing I've ever seen. I mean, the left is just absolute insane. They will spin anything off, and then what do? I'm like, quit drinking the Kool-Aid. Dude sends me a thing with, who was it? Trump and Ivanka doing an interview with Oprah, and he makes a bad joke, right? Makes a bad joke. It's a joke. But again, there are no gray areas when it comes to wild. But again, that's right and left too. I'm as pissed off at the right as I am the left these days. I really am. Like I really am. It's like, stop with the cult. Stop with the cult. Just chill a little bit. But no, the prosecution against Rittenhouse just been an absolute nightmare. That Nick Sandman kid, he came away with what, $250 million after he sued all the networks. I think Rittenhouse is going to be able to come away with way more than that. I really do. I think the lawsuits that are going to come out of this whole deal, because again, they tried to set him up, and they want to say, different people have said, like, who was it? Ben and Jerry's ice cream. I can't believe even Ben and Jerry's ice cream comes out talking about this is the problem with justice in America. White kid, blah, 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 blah. He's going to get off. Well, he's going to get off because he didn't break any laws. Should he have been there? Well, we could discuss that. I don't know. Like, I wouldn't want my 17-year-old kid to be there with an AR-15. But he was. And, what about the kid in Mansfield, Texas, that got in a fight and then started shooting people a couple of weeks ago? And he gets out on he's a black kid, by the way. He gets out $75,000 bail. They throw a party for him coming home, and then they sweep it under the rug. Nothing's being said about it. So don't preach to us about this, equality and justice and all this kind of stuff. It's insane. But again, the left, oh my gosh. Those guys, those prosecution guys, they should never practice law ever again. I mean, they're pathetic. I mean, you want to talk about a sign of just not what to do in the courtroom. Another thing that's interesting, though, they're calling it the Great Resignation. 4.4 million Americans quit their jobs as the Great Resignation shows no signs of stopping. People are quitting their jobs during the pandemic. It continues to handicap the United States economy recovery. Record numbers of Americans quit their jobs in September. So job openings, I've said over and over again, you want to take over the world, you can take over the world. Right now, you could do it because nobody wants to work. But you got to get around the mandates. So you got people who are quitting the jobs because of the mandates. CNBC reported so far roughly 34.4 million people have quit their jobs this year, with more than 24 million doing so since April. By comparison, 36.3 million people quit their job in all of 2020. That's huge. So, that's another 4.4 have quit now. In the last, month. So it ain't going to get better, folks. It ain't going to, I was like driving to the studio today and I was like, I worry about things. Sometimes I get to thinking about, you start thinking about your future and financial stability and getting old and who's going to take care of me, who's going to wipe my ass, Chris. And I don't think it's going to be you. Like, I don't think you'll do it. But see, that's the thing. What if I'm broke, right? But I'm like, you know what? At this stage in the game, like the way we're going, we're all going to be broke together. Like nothing's going to have any value. We're just all going to be sharing our prepared meal, prepared meals from preparewithchad.com. That's what's going to happen.
Wait, did you have a bad stock market? Because during our commercial breaks, you always bring up your little stock.
Yeah, I'm always looking at the stocks, man.
And are you getting bad news?
No.
Okay.
No.
Because you told us how much you made one day, and I was like, okay, maybe Chad has a future, and I can, wipe his butt for a certain amount of money.
If it's ever worth anything. I mean, like you might cash it out, get the cash, and the cash is worth nothing. So again, you don't have the money till you have the money, right? So then is it even worth anything anymore? But that TGGI stock, it's done pretty good. It's bounced up. I'm waiting on some news to come. As soon as the news comes out and they drop the 8K and the public filing information, all those kind of things, it's going to be through the roof. I'm not a stock advisor, but yeah, it's a penny stock. It's trading around 2 cents. But I got into it when it was like 0.0055 or something. Pretty low. So it's 2 cents. Yeah, it ain't bad. It ain't bad. But you know what's been killing it, dude, is that Saitama, SAITAMA, which is a crypto. The Saitama, you got to go through, you got to get into those wallets and you got to do all those exchanges. It's all a big pain. Nothing's easy with that stuff. But I'll buy it and I'll forget about it. I looked over the weekend and I looked at that and I was like, oh, that $500 just got interesting. Damn. So, yeah, and I own like 36 billion shares of that. So the guy, I think I've already said this on the show, but like the guy who invested $100 in Shiba or whatever it was back in January, and now it's worth like $50 billion or some astronomical billions. They can't pay it out. He's got to withdraw $50,000 a day, and like that would be frustrating. I mean that's a great problem to have. $50,000 a day, you just hire somebody to make that transfer.
So you're telling me that I have to go to the ATM every single day? Oh, it's gonna hurt me so much. Yeah. But here's $50,000.
Bees don't burn in the kitchen. Yeah, we're moving on up. So, yeah, but I'm getting further and further to the point where, I was saying to somebody this weekend, I was like, I really just want a cabin in the woods. Like, if anybody wants to just sell me like a secluded spot, somewhere, I don't know, south of here, somewhere in Texas, just somewhere out, we're still kind of out in the country. And I'll get some Wi-Fi pumped in there, and that way I can still talk to you guys. But I just see it through a screen, Or y'all come with me, Mark and Chris. Y'all just come with me. Bring the kids, whatever. Mark doesn't have any kids, I don't think. Here's another way they're trying to control you. Like, this is the thing that's driving me crazy. Like, I read an article over the weekend. Well, Elijah Schaffer posted an article on his Instagram that said that climate change is actually going to start causing more heart defects in babies. I said, climate change, or could it be something else? Blah, blah, blah. I read another one, and I can't for the life of me find this article again. But it said, and I swear to you, this is what it said. It said that some types of heart attacks may actually be good for you. That's the kind of crap the news is putting out there. They're trying to spin it in every way. This is about control, folks. To say that some kind of heart attacks may actually strengthen your heart. I'm like, okay, they're doing everything. That's just like yesterday when we were talking about the minor attracted people, the MAPs, the pedophiles, and they're trying to justify that. They're going to justify anything, any kind of lunacy that's out there. They're going to try to bend the science in order to try to make it justified. So here's another one. Scientists, stunned by COVID findings in deer population. Dun, dun, dun. I don't think that's a deer you got a picture of up there. What is that? It looks like a Neil guy. I can't even see that over there.
I'm sorry, what happened?
That ain't a white-tailed deer, I can tell you that.
Are you sure those are not deers?
Those aren't deer.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Because according to
I've got the key light in my face. I can't see that monitor over there, but that looked like a Neil guy. But I don't think it was Neil guy either.
Can you make it bigger? Can you make those deers bigger for Chad? Because I found those deers in the website that we use for photographs. Yeah. The only difference that these are not American deers. These are Chinese deers.
Chinese deers. Oh, I could see the cheekbones. It's like a buddy of mine, Larry Alex Taunton. He's been on the show before. We need to have him back. He did an article recently about 9/11, and the picture he used for his article was actually from Independence Day. I was like, bro, because the public will call you on that stuff.
What's funny is, like, I grabbed that picture because I could not find an American deer.
How do you not find it? Like, I would have sent you a picture of deer.
But there's some approved
stuff I've killed.
There's okay, then that's different. But I picked that one. That was the most generic one because I was like, Chad is not gonna recognize it. Yeah. And then Mark gives me crap, and then you give me crap like at the same time. I'm like,
bro, you start throwing wildlife up there, I'm gonna catch it. But anyway, scientists they're saying that the infections in the deer, they're stunned by their findings. So they're like, oh, my God, it's going to be bad. So what they're doing is those folks like me who just want to get off the grid and go out there and live off the land and kill their own meat and hunt and eat it. Like, now they're scaring you to even do that, which is more government dependence, more government reliability. You got to make sure that you're depending on them for your food. I'm willing to take my chances, all right? I texted my boy Marty Berry. I said, I got a thirst for blood. I'm ready to come on down South Texas, do some killing. We'll say, this tastes like COVID. But I'll know I don't have COVID because I can taste it. Yeah. Is that still a thing, like the no smell, no taste thing? Like that still happens to people? I don't hear a lot of people talking about that anymore. You can't be saying names, I don't think. But if we want to, so now they're saying you can't even go out there and eat the wildlife. They said that 80% of the deer tested had been infected by coronavirus. But again, animals get coronavirus historically. But this is the COVID. This is the COVID-19. Like, they're talking about the novel coronavirus, the new thing. I want to do a new thing, man. A new thing.
And for sure, if you do eat the Chinese deers that I put, definitely you're gonna get the COVID.
Yeah, the Chinese deer. Make sure you got your sweet and sour. Because I'm telling you what. Do Chinese buffets, are they still open? Yeah. I got to go to a Chinese. But can you go to the buffet bar? Or do they serve it? They get it out of the buffet. They serve it. See, I don't like that. But I haven't been to a Chinese buffet restaurant in 2 years.
You could go to the hibachi bar. They still do that whole.
Yeah, they do that. Japanese Palace in Fort Worth. That's my spot.
You know what? The one that I don't know. The Brazilian dudes.
Yeah.
Are they still doing that?
Yeah, they're still doing it.
They are?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like Fogo de Chao and all that.
Fogo de Chao, yeah.
The churrascara.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're still doing it. I don't know, man. I eat at 2 restaurants. Sometimes 3.
What are they?
Mercury Chop House in Fort Worth.
Okay.
I go to Campisi's Italian over in Camp Bowie in Fort Worth. And I'll go to Japanese Palace every now and then. But yeah, I pretty much just 3 restaurants. I'm a creature of habit in that regard. And plus, I can just go in there and chill. They know me there. I'm like Norm. It cheers. This fall, when you get back into the swing of things, I love Bespoke Post. They're there with a new seasonal lineup of must-have Box of Awesome collections. Bespoke Post partners with small businesses and emerging brands to bring you the most unique goods every single month. In fact, I got to change my address with them because I just moved, and I got to make sure my box comes in. There's probably one sitting at the old mailbox. I love them. You never know what you're going to get, and it's always the best stuff. So no matter what you're into, Box of Awesome, they got you covered. Craft beers, clothing, camping gear, essentials, collections for every part of your life. It's just whatever you're into, right? So you go to boxofawesome.com, you take a quiz, they use your answers to help pick out the right Box of Awesome for you, and every single month they release a new box. Of course, it's across a ton of different categories. Free to sign up, you can skip a month, you can cancel anytime. The boxes are $45, but you always have over $70 worth of gear. And with each Box of Awesome, you're supporting small businesses, so 90% of everything that comes in your Box of Awesome is from a small up-and-coming brand. Get 20% off your first monthly box at boxofawesome.com when you use code WATCHCHAD at checkout. Boxofawesome.com, use code WATCHCHAD. They'll give you 20% off your first box. And we'll be right back. Woo! Welcome back, everybody. Let's get into this. Wow. I have the dubious honor of bringing before you today a case of such magnificent hypocrisy that it can only be couched in the folds of humor, lest madness and the explosion of the brain should follow the person who bends down to drink from this particular stream. Jeffrey Toobin, the man most famous for going on a date with Rosie Palms during a work Zoom meeting, said multiple times the other day that Kyle Rittenhouse was, quote, an idiot. Now, call me crazy, and maybe I am. You can find out by buying my book, Am I Crazy? But I think it's kind of funny when a man who got himself temporarily suspended after a bout of hand-to-gland combat was, well, balls to say something like that on national television. Hey, CNN, maybe your chief expert on what qualifies someone to be a moron shouldn't have gained all his knowledge on the subject from being one. And I don't want to get too deep in the weeds about what Jeffrey Toobin did. He watched porn and did what people who watch porn do, or so I've heard. But it's worth noting at least one more time how incredibly dumb you have to be to not triple check that you're not on any kind of work meeting call before you fire up the Pornhub and go to town on yourself. Now, it's also further worth noting that CNN's credibility in this matter is on point with just about everything they do. If you go behind the main building at CNN headquarters and look into the trash dumpster, you'll probably find their credibility hanging out and smoking crack with their ratings. But I digress, or maybe I don't. You see, the reason that media outlets like CNN have such low ratings these days is that people have been waking up these past few years to the fact that they just spew baloney into the air and hope that all of it sticks to the wall. When all you serve is the narrative, the truth doesn't really matter anymore. Only the ideology counts. So when you or I present a counter argument to the idea that Kyle Rittenhouse was stupid for doing what he did, we get shot down as radical morons as well. Here's an example of a good question to ask someone like Jeffrey Toobin. Hey there, Peter Beater. Shouldn't the real national news story be about the trials for those people who did the rioting and committed horrific acts of violence and arson? Oh, wait, most of them got away with that. Doesn't that strike you as something slightly more important than whether the 17-year-old kid should have been in a position where he had to defend himself from these assholes? Now, putting the cart before the horse is just one of the many multifarious ways that the left works to keep people like us from being able to succeed in rooting their poison philosophy out of our lives, folks. Sanity is forbidden. Rational thought is heresy in the religion of humanism that guides the church of the woke and all its supplicants. Now, I'm rightly tired of the media narrative progressing so far to the left that it not only demands you accept lies as truth, but in fact demands that you surrender any rationality you possess in the course of doing so. Folks, if you watch CNN, and I realize most of you already don't, but if you do, stop. Just stop. They're committing corporate suicide. It's time to just let them jump off the bridge and make sure our cameras are on. You know, kind of the opposite of what Jeffrey Toobin should have been doing. Now, look, in closing, let me say this. Maybe Kyle Rittenhouse shouldn't have been in Kenosha that night. I don't know. Maybe what he did displays the unfettered actions of a dumb kid who ended up in a place where he shouldn't have been in the first place. Well, guess what? He had a right to be there, and he had a right to defend himself when people were trying to harm him. And I maintain that even if he should be on trial for a weapons violation, he should be so far down on the list of people on trial from that city that he's a damn footnote. So Jeffrey Toobin, how's about you go back to practicing your relationship with Russell the Love Muscle and leave this kid alone? You're such a jerk off. Anyway, Jeffrey Toobin, he called him an idiot. Illegal. He said, lucky it's not illegal to be an idiot. This guy. Whew. You know, we could have thrown a whole lot more masturbatory euphemisms in that little rant right there. You're welcome. Right now, I still want to just spout off another list of things that I had in my mind. But that'll do. That'll do. You know, Toobin's out there making belly pancakes. Oh, my God. I went there. Somewhere right now, Jeffrey's Toobin. Man, oh man. Shoo, what else do I want to talk about? Not that. Oh, here's one that fits. Local school board in Fredericksburg, Virginia has ordered school libraries in the district to begin removing books containing sexually explicit material from the shelves and to report the number of books that are removed at a special meeting next week. That's a win. That's a win right there. Yeah, it's not enough. The Spotsylvania County School Board, they issued the directive. It's got a, so apparently mother of a Riverbend student said she was alarmed by LGBTQIA. What's I? I don't know what I is. Intersex. And what's A? Do we know? Asexual. There's a lot of things to be, Mark. Maybe I should be something else. I don't know. Apparently there's a lot of good literature about it. Yeah, I think we should throw those books in a fire. You know, and look, I don't know, I understand it's filth, right? I get that. And I don't care that the books, I don't know, this is just off the top of my head. I don't care that the books exist. That doesn't bother me. Like if you want to write filth and pander it to, like, I wish it didn't exist. I wish we had morals and a conscience, and a soft heart towards what the destruction that this type of material leads to. But, like, keep it out of the schools. Keep it out of kids' hands. In the same way that you're going to say Kyle Rittenhouse, who was 17 years old, shouldn't have had an AR-15 on the streets of Kenosha, Wisconsin. You're going to say, oh, but let's give this destructive pornography that's going to obliterate their minds and pervert their healthy sexuality going forward. Let's put that in their hands. Both are killers. I mean, both of those things are meticulously dangerous to people. Pornography destroys lives. It destroys lives. And it really kills relationships. It kills marriages. It makes people unable to relate to reality. It gets very destructive. It can become violent, right? It can be something that it's a thing that's never satisfied. We can go on and on about that. But it's dangerous. You put it in the hands of a 15-year-old in school. And then you want to talk about why guys like Jeffrey Toobin exist.
And Chad, for the people that love science so much, the science is pretty definite when it comes to pornography.
It is.
There's no gray area. It's literally black and white. Yeah. What it does to your brain, what it does to relationship. So,
well, the thing is, and I read a study years ago, about how many tens of thousands of times the male brain can bring back a pornographic image in their memory. They can bring it back. And so, I say then you have relationships out there. You want to have healthy relationships. It's almost impossible to have a healthy relationship because the person you're in a relationship with can never live up to the fantasy. They can't, and so that's one thing. And that's reasonably benign. As bad as that is, it's reasonably benign compared to where that life can take you, that habit, that addiction can take you. And it's a bad thing. And I say that with no judgment here because, look, we've all got weird stuff that is in our brain that, drives us in certain things, and not all of it's good. But you got to get control of that. But when we condition our children with this stuff, this hypersexualization of a generation, it's not necessarily new. We talked again about the minor attracted persons yesterday. That, throughout history, we've seen this happen, this type of decadence and immorality that's happened. But now we're pandering to it. So, it's one thing for it to exist. I'm not a book burner. This is the point I'm trying to make. But don't put it in the hands of kids. I don't know who in the hell publishes this stuff or why it's even necessary. I don't need the minor attracted persons, pedophiles, people who have those tendencies. I don't need those people having a voice out there. We got to read, don't we? Oh yeah, that's right. Cause we're going bald. It's another thing. Speaking of Jeffrey Toobin's little bald head. Hey, you ignored my advice, didn't you? Remember a while back I told you how thousands of guys trust Keeps to keep their hair loss prevention maintained? If you trust me back then, you'd be showing off your thick head of hair by the holidays and in the photos this season. Keeps offers the same doctor recommended FDA approved hair treatment, except they offer the generic brand out there. Going to save you half the money. They've got more 5-star reviews than any of the competitors, and you're not going to have those jaw-dropping expenditures in saving your hair. Do everything online. Answer a few easy questions. Snap a couple pictures of your hair. Licensed doctor reviews your info and recommends the right hair loss treatment for you. Going to be shipped to your door. And if you got any questions along the way, you can message your Keeps doctor 24/7. Track your progress with the Keeps Progress Tracking tool. So get started today with a discount. Go to Keeps, KEEPS.com/loss. 50% off your first order. That's Keeps.com/loss. 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 Make sure I said that right. You'll get 50% off. We'll be right back. Woo! Boy, howdy. It's getting radical, boys. It's getting radical. I'm pretty proud, though. The new leader of the Oklahoma National Guard is taking a stand against the Biden administration's COVID-19 vaccine mandate for soldiers. So that's good. There's some other things. They're doing some pretty good things in regards to that in Oklahoma, fighting against the mandate. Governor Kevin Stitt up there, of course, he's a Republican. He announced Mancino's promotion, who is the new head of the National Guard there, from assistant adjunct general to the top National Guard post. And so, yeah, that's one of his first acts as the head. He said, "This policy is not anti-vaccine. I and the governor are both vaccinated. I encourage all our Oklahoma Guard members to get vaccinated if they choose to do so. We want to educate and inform our soldiers and airmen so that they can make an informed decision regarding the DoD vaccine mandate." So I went out on Saturday, this past Saturday. We had Tom Bogart on the show week before last. He is the founder of the Southwest Freedom Flyers. He's a pilot for Southwest Airlines. Had about 2,000 people over at Dallas Love Field on Saturday. We were over there for a couple of hours. It was encouraging, man, just to see people out there fighting for choice and for freedom. And don't come at me with all this, but you don't believe in abortion and violating women's bodies. That's because the unborn baby is not the woman's body. It's a different thing, okay? It's a different human being residing inside the woman's body. So don't with all that. But just people should have a choice with the autonomy of their own human body and what is allowed into it. And so I was encouraged. Nobody was out there saying they were this or that, left or right. They were just fighting for their choice, against these, speaking out against these vaccine mandates. And I think a lot of people, I had some microphone time out there, and I think people were expecting me to campaign. But, when I'm out, and I didn't. So, because when I'm talking to thousands of people out there who are, facing losing their jobs, I'm not going to use the mic time to encourage them to give me a new one and use it as a campaign speech. I was out there talking about what mattered, and that's these employer vaccines mandates. And so we've got to fight against these things, man. This is really bad. It's your choice. It is absolutely your choice, and people should not be forced to do this. So I went live on Facebook, and I posted it, and some lady got on there and said, "You just need to get over yourself and stop acting superior to people. Just get the shot. It's for your own good." And I said, you do it, or you're going to lose your job, or something like that. I mean, the point is, you're going to lose your job if you don't do what I tell you to do. See, people don't like it when you couch it in those terms. We don't like it when you're telling us that we have to get something injected into our body in order to keep a job. So, going forward, here's how I'm running my campaign. I'm hereby officially mandating that everyone vote for me in March in the primary election. March 1st, I want everybody in Texas to go to the voting, the polling place, go to the voting booth, and I'm mandating that you vote for me. You don't have a choice, okay? I'm also mandating that you leave us 5-star reviews every day. I'm mandating that you follow me on social media. I'm mandating that you go to watchchad.com and buy stuff. I'm mandating that you go to watchchad.com and put your email address in there. I'm mandating that you read the articles at chadprather.com. You see how this works? People don't have a choice, Mark. I'm mandating they do it. Or else. You say, what else? I say, I don't know what else, but I'm just mandating it. We'll see. And you'll find out the hard way. I mandate you, Chris, to play a TikTok. I want to see it.
Do you see this person next to me?
Whoa.
E is my friend. C has had to put up with a lot to get to where Per is today. I just want to let Glint know that Thon is valid, that ver pronouns are valid, and that Sarah identity is valid. I wish Void all the best, and look forward to maybe even seeing some of their lovely content someday. Please, treat them with respect, and I'm sure A will respect you too.
Them, A, Thon, Xir, Ser. I'm trying to remember some of these things. Like what language? What Klingon language was she talking about? Was she talking about an imaginary friend?
No, she was not having a heart attack while she was doing that TikTok. That was her creating some form of
just a whole other pronoun gobbledygook, right?
ET phone home?
Yeah, I mean, Elliot. That was some weird stuff right there. I get it. You want attention. I understand. We all do. We all love attention. We really, really do. But can we do it somewhere on this universe plane, like this reality? Do we have to go to a whole parallel experience? Scotty, beam her up. I mean, at some point in time, this girl, these people need some help. Like, give them an iPhone and turn them loose on TikTok, and they just become like, do you see my imaginary friend who's sitting here? That's not healthy. I don't know if you understand this or not. Like, there's some unhealthy stuff that we're normalizing and making it okay. And how dare we say anything about it, because we're just those evil, mean oppressors out there that are trying to hold these folks down in their sense of expression. Yeah, that's exactly right. I do. You're going to hurt yourself. Like, I don't want you behind the wheel of a car. You might let Cher drive. I don't want that to happen. Like, this is real stuff that's going on. I mean, we talked about that dude weeks ago who got divorced from his rubber doll and was now marrying the ashtray because he liked the cold steel. I trust that guy more than the humanoid who's trying to tell me about her imaginary boyfriend or whatever. I don't know if it was a boy, it was a Zer friend, it was a Thon friend, or whatever. And maybe sometime, as she said, her imaginary person there, whatever, will make TikTok creative videos too. I would love to see that. I want to see what Thon has to say. This is crazy, man. It's really, this is nuts. So, I'm thinking that I'm the alien. Like, I'm not from here, right? All these other nut jobs out here is like, boop, somebody hit reboot, and we came back really effed up. Like, somebody turned the computer off and back on, and it didn't load right. Maybe Y2K really was a thing. Like, maybe it just shut down the human race, and everything that we've birthed after the year 2000 is really just messed up. My God, get my book, Am I Crazy? An Unapologetic Patriot Takes on the Insanity of Today's Woke World. The audio version is coming soon. I need you to get that as well. But anyway, God, keep making these TikToks. It's scary. I want the cabin in the woods. I do. I'll be right back. Yeah, you can go to beto22.com. You'll love it. And listen, you go there. If you get a chuckle out of going to beto22.com, you like what you see, just try it. Donate $5, okay? Just donate $5 or $17.76. I like that. Yeah. Or let's do some Texas stuff like $18.35. Something. I don't know. Be creative. $1,000. How about that? I like $1,000. Yeah, 2022. Anyway, don't forget, folks, register to vote if you haven't, by the way. I don't want to do all this work for the last year and a half, get all the way to March for the primary, and folks be like, I didn't register to vote. The primary, as it stands right now, will be in March. Prather2022.com. Prather2022.com. Check it out. Or again, beto22.com. But I appreciate you guys. I really do. Thank you for leaving us a 5-star rating and the reviews that are out there. And I want to remind you guys, chadonblaze.com. You could do some Christmas shopping. If you use promo code CHAD20, you can go shop.blazemedia.com. It's just easier to go to chadonblaze.com. I made it easier for you. You can get your Let's Go Brandon cups. You can get your FJB. You can get your Pure Blooded. Thinking about doing the blah blah t-shirt. Maybe we'll talk to Alexander. Did you do it? No blah blah? Okay, good. Let's do that thing. But I appreciate you guys. Tomorrow's hump day. It's Wednesday. We're going to be humping at you, Jeffrey Toobin style. Love you. God bless you. Talk to you then. Bye.